Zach Gelb hosts afternoons nationally on the Infinity Sports Network, and he joins us from the WFAN studios in New York City. Is it getting cold in New York City? Because I see you're wearing a little puffer jacket.
No, it's just a little fashion, I'm wearing a little bomber today. I'm feeling good. I'm looking good. I'm trying to be like the Walmart version of Solana, honestly.
Right. It's a look. It's a look. He's rocking a look. And where are you, Crowder? You're in Houston?
Houston, yes, sir.
Yeah, how's the weather in Houston?
Beautiful, actually. It's really nice.
Channing would probably call this the preppy white guy look, even though I'm not a preppy guy. I'm a white guy, but that's what I think Channing would call this.
You're not a preppy white guy. Huh?
Preppy white guy. I've seen that look at University of Florida before, yes.
That's Finance Bro 101 right there.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
I look like Mike McDaniel right now. Maybe I got capris on and you guys don't even know. Show a little ankle. Get a little ankle out there.
Let me start there. Are you shocked that as we sit here today on October 22nd, that Mike McDaniel is still the head coach of the Miami Dolphins? And let me take it one step further. Are you shocked that Tua Tagovailoa is the starting quarterback on Sunday in Atlanta?
I think the coach knows if he benches Tua, he's then definitely going to get fired because of the investment that they made in Tua. But, yeah, I'm stunned that I thought for sure Monday morning we were getting the notification, McDaniel out, maybe even Chris Grier out too, because he needs to go as well. But, what does it mean firing the GM in the middle of the season? I guess I'm not shocked. I'm just disappointed. And my question would be, why? Like, Stephen Ross, are you asleep? Stephen Ross, do you not care? Stephen Ross, are you cheap? Stephen Ross, have you just accepted that you'll just wait to the end of the season? I would love to just ask Stephen Ross one question today, and it would just be, why?
What does it benefit to fire him, though? Like I'm asking you, I'm saying, like, if you fire him, there's nobody in that organization that's turning that team around.
It doesn't.
I think he's just waiting to the end of the season, let McDaniel sink with his boat, and then now it's terrible, and now I can move on.
Could you get an interim coach boost, which long-term doesn't help the franchise because you'd rather have the most losses at this rate? Sure. But there's a difference in being bad and embarrassing. This is now embarrassing. The Dolphins, even if they make a change, they're still going to be bad, but it's just to stop the clown show, stop the bleeding, stop the national disgrace that the Miami Dolphins are right now. Because this coach at the podium is a fool, and the quarterback at the podium, I thought I didn't love when Cam said it, but he's right. Like, Cam, when he talked about Tua being aggressive at the podium and Tua really being boisterous at the podium, it has been a disaster for Tua Tagovailoa at the podium. You're lucky the Jets are in the division too, because Aaron Glenn, that's another guy. He gets in front of the podium. Holy smokes, like, shut up, dude.
We're 2 weeks away, a little less than 2 weeks away from the NFL trade deadline. Now the conversation down here is, what do you do with all these assets, or quote-unquote assets? My question, Gelb, is, do the Dolphins actually have attractive pieces from a national perspective? Because Devon Achane is probably, it's Achane or bust down here right now with the offense, but I just don't see them trading him right now. I think Jalen Waddle is also somebody who people think highly of. I don't see them trading him either. It's really the front seven guys, Bradley Chubb, Jalen Phillips, who we all thought, at the very least, those are the guys that you could trust to have a good season, and they have not produced. So I wonder, even if the Dolphins were saying, hey, let's kind of start stockpiling some picks, do people around the league really look at any of these guys on the Dolphins and say, yeah, they can help us win now?
I think Channing would know this, that there's a lot of arrogant offensive and defensive coordinators out there and head coaches that go, oh, I could make Jalen Phillips and Bradley Chubb good again. It's just a Dolphins situation. So those are the two attractive names on defense. And then offense, you hit the nail right in the head. It's Devon Achane and Jalen Waddle, who are two good young pieces. And the question just is, if you're the Dolphins, do you want to part ways with those pieces? And is the return going to be significant enough for you to ultimately say, yeah, you know what, we'll say goodbye to a youngster in Jalen Waddle, who's next year probably your number one wide receiver if he does stay, because I don't think, regardless of what Tyreek is trying to sell everybody, I would be shocked if Tyreek is on the roster to start next season.
Well, let me ask you this question. We were having this conversation yesterday, and it kind of just came organically, but you can play the hindsight game and say they shouldn't have given to a big contract when they did, because they still had him under contract for another season, and then they could have franchised him for 2 seasons beyond that. Okay, and you had said that when that originally went down. But let me just ask you, because they made a business decision that he was going to be their quarterback for a long time, that he was good enough after the 2023 season to warrant a giant investment, and plenty of players get contracts before they need a contract, right? And you don't want to get into the situation. They lost Christian Wilkins because they waited too long with that. So do you think if Tua was an unrestricted free agent the year after 2023 that they give him the big contract, if he was an unrestricted free agent, wouldn't he have gotten that contract somewhere else from some other team? Wasn't he respected enough around the league to warrant that type of giant contract?
He would have got a contract because there's more teams that don't have quarterbacks that do have quarterbacks, and then people would overspend. If you're saying, okay, if when they gave him the contract, even though, like you said, he had another year left on the deal, if he was a free agent, then yeah, someone would have given him a contract. But that's not the situation. The situation the Dolphins had is they could have waited. And for a quarterback that also has an injury history, it even makes more sense to wait. And the Dolphins didn't elect to do that. But, it's at this point, if you're a Dolphins fan, what reason do you have to tune into this team? And that's why this owner, how he has not fired the GM or the head coach. The quarterback, the damage is done. You already paid him. You got to figure out how to get out of it and just deal with it. But how this coach and this GM are still here, I keep on going back to it. And I keep on using the same lame line that I've been using for a year. They got pictures. They got to have pictures of Stephen Ross with like a shriveled up Schmeckel or something like that. That's all I could give you. That's all I got at this point.
And Gelb, to that point, you get rid of the head coach and the GM. Is Tua connected to that? And if he's not, the report, they owe him $54+ million next year. Could the Dolphins do something like the Broncos did with Russ when they gave him that big money? I think it was 4 for $250, and they end up figuring out a way to split the money with another team. Would that be the approach if they do clean shop?
I think it's a lame duck spot next season where you remember Sean Payton inherited Russell Wilson for a year and already knew that he was done with him, and then waited until the year after to just say, okay, we're going to get rid of Russell Wilson. So I think a new coach that comes in, assuming that it is with the new GM, they're going to say the first year's a wash, the second year improve, third year go contend for a playoff spot. So I'm going to sit back and say that probably Tua's on the team next year, and they wait then a year after that for the dead cap. I don't have the contract in front of me, but the dead cap in theory to just go down a little bit, and then you figure a way how to crunch the numbers.
Hey, Jimmy, for the podcast, you know how to spell shriveled up Schmeckel?
No, I do not.
All right, I'll get back to you on that. I'll text you on that.